What's up, Northerners? What's up, Steelers fans? What's up to my Penguins fans? This is Chris with your post-game report on what happened with the Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons today, which I'll just say was a whooping. But before I get into that, one thing I have to say, I am a Duquesne Duke. Duquesne's my alma mater. It's a place where I met some of my best friends in life. And speaking of those best friends, Brody Hall was a place where there were moments that made my best friends my best friends. There was a tragedy there earlier this week, and I wanted to have a moment of silence before I get into my show for Duquesne, for the Duquesne football team, and for the families of the people involved. Okay, getting back into it. My report on today's game, what happened? What happened to me was the Steelers just had a game plan that just totally annihilated and took over the defensive line of the Atlanta Falcons. Our offensive line just pitched a no-hitter today, just totally pitched a no-hitter, shut them out. We had 0 sacks allowed today, and I'm a stats guy. I got my accounting degree from Duquesne University. Another stat I'll throw out there at you, and it's one that's very indicative to me of how a game goes, is that the Steelers, specifically James Conner, averaging 5.2 yards per carry today, racked up over 110 yards, had another 75 yards through the air today. Just an amazing game by him, and it's ironic that he has that sort of a game after all these talks of Bell coming back. And I gotta say, the Steelers kind of have treated James Conner like a guy treats his second string girlfriend. I mean, it's like someone who already has another girlfriend and he's a second string. They gave him just that little bit of shine against the Cleveland Browns where he had just, again, huge game. Ever since then, there's just been no commitment to the running game whatsoever. And I think that's played into how our offense have slid in the past few games. Yes, we were coming from behind kind of early on, but there's no reason to abandon the running game the way we have the past few weeks here. Really love to see us getting back to old school football, again, having over 110 yards rushing for Conner. I'm still not totally sold on the offense, though. There are a couple things that did go wrong today, specifically for me. The ugliest thing that I saw today was Ben's interception late in the second half there with about 12 seconds left. It was a second down play, and he just chucks it up there like a high school kid, hoping that his best friend comes down with it. It was terrible, and it was rushed, and it kind of brought to light the elephant in the room in the offense. This seems like we're still kind of forcing the ball to Brown for whatever reason. Not that it's ever a bad choice to throw to him, but he may not be the best option on any particular play. One that I'll go to in particular was there was another ball that almost ended up in an interception. It went to Brown in the end zone. James Conner was wide open. He would have scored on that play had Ben checked down to him. But for whatever reason, we're forcing the ball to Brown on more than one occasion every game, and it's starting to be a little obvious out there. We need to look into that. Other thing I saw on the offense, again, pouncing the guys, just really getting after it. Conner not only running hard after the catch, running hard to get the first downs, running hard to just keep the possession going. I saw Juju Smith-Schuster go out there. He didn't have a monster game, but he scored. Brown scored twice today. Brown had over 100 yards receiving. So offense had a great game, but again, not totally sold. On the other side of the ball, the defense was stout today. We only gave up 17 points to Matt Ryan and that high-powered offense he has. Again, just a couple years ago, it might not look that good at now 1-4 this season, but a couple years ago, these guys almost took down the Giants in the Super Bowl. So remember, for the most part, that's a lot of the same team out there. I'm not sure what's going on with them this season, but they've got some talent on that side of the ball. Watt playing out of his mind today, 3 sacks, led the team with 8 tackles, had the strip sack there in the second half. Excuse me. Getting over a cold I've had here for the past few days. Forgive me for that. And some person who's really earning my respect, and I keep talking about him because I spoke so poorly of him once the Steelers did draft him first round this year, Terrell Edmonds, really earning my respect out there. Second on the team in tackles with 7 today, only led by Watt. And just really, really like the way I'm seeing him go out there and play coverage when he's needed, play on special teams when he's needed, make tackles when he's needed. Awesome seeing him develop as a young player, and I really expect to see him get much better. That secondary today played much, much better. Davis out there, sensible, had a good game. Artie Burns didn't get burnt today. All good things. The only play was the Mohamed Sanu touchdown early on there in the first half, but that was just a beautiful bang play. I mean, there's not a whole lot of defense you could have played on that. That play was just executed as well as it possibly could have been. One thing, one thing I saw on that play, and it took me going back to watch some of these games over again and really focusing on some of the bigger plays to see what was happening. I used to think that Joe Hayden was out there getting scored on a lot more than he actually is. He's just the guy who's chasing down the person harder than anyone is, all the way down to the very end. He's the guy who will chase you to the goal line, hoping he might be able to knock the ball out, hoping he might be able to tackle you at the 1, and then we make a stand. So, apologies to Hayden, man. I thought you were out there getting burned. That's not really the case. Love what I'm seeing from you out there hustling. Other things I saw today, Boswell, not sure what's going on out there with Boswell this season. Last year, just lights out for most of the season. This year, missing extra points, missing, field goals. Just not the same player he's been the past couple seasons. He just needs to get that together. I think him and Artie Burns are just both a little shook up in the head and a little broken as far as their self-confidence. They just need to get that together and figure that out. Also today, the Baltimore Ravens become the first victim of the Cleveland Browns in our division, and I can't even tell you how long. I have to look way back on my calendar to see when's the last time the Brownies beat someone within the division. And wow, in overtime, Baker Mayfield comes out there, and I'm sure that he is kind of walking on burning water out there on the on the waters of Cleveland. So congratulations to you guys, man. A couple wins this season. Very cool to see those draft picks are paying off. I'll sign off with my new sign off as I like to do now with fuck the Bengals. Cannot wait to see them.